Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is abdicate. And I choose this word because it is not lost on me that as a highly sensitive empathic woman, I have been down for the count with this cold during the week that America is debating about the future of American healthcare. And so I've really been thinking about the future of American healthcare, and I've also been thinking about the one thing that I believe we have a choice about, because we may or may not be able to control what happens with the future of insurance. But what we do have control about is how we advocate for our own well-being and how we make the decision to take our healing into our own hands. And as a healer, as well as somebody who's been on a journey of personal recovery and well being for my entire adult life, if there is one thing I have come to see and know and believe, is that the first step to true healing is ownership of it and is taking personal responsibility for our journey and for our process. That when we expect somebody else to dictate it, to guide us, to tell us what to do, we we become incredibly disempowered, but also one of the most important factors in recovery is our inner guidance and our feedback and recognizing what our body is telling us and leading us and showing us. And so when we're waiting for somebody else to interpret the signals, we are missing out on something incredibly crucial, which is our own guidance about what our body is actually asking for. And what I have also found is that there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all solution. There's no one over-the-counter medication. There's no one magic pill. There's no one magic solution. That every single one of us is slightly different. And ownership of this and really learning how to listen to ourselves and listen to our bodies and listen to our guidance is at the core of this process. And at the very foundation of it is the ownership of our healing and recognizing that we do have some, if not all, control over what happens to our body, that we do have choices, and that we have choices around many aspects of our life. We have choices about what we feed ourselves. We have choices about how much we sleep. We have choices about what we expose ourselves to in terms of media and in terms of our social interactions and how we spend our time. And we have choices about what we do with our leisure and how we move and how we exercise, as well as how we cultivate gentle or negative thoughts. And all of these things contribute to our health and well-being. And so while we may not have total control over whether we get insurance or not, what I do believe we have control over is whether we choose to advocate for ourselves or not. And I really believe that is the first step. So my question to you right now is, how are you advocating for your well-being right now? What are you doing to put your needs first? What are you doing to make your wellness a priority and to ensure your well-being? How is your diet? How are you feeding yourself? How are you listening to yourself? How are you being guided by your own inner wisdom? How are you sleeping? How are you taking care of yourself? What are you exposing yourself to that is positive and nourishing? And what are you exposing yourself to that is negative and depleting? And how can you perhaps even take your advocacy one or two or three steps further? What can you do to continue to support yourself even more? So I would love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below and tell me what you think about it. And I will also just say one caveat, which is that as everything is not one size fits all, I also just want to acknowledge that resources are not one size fits all, and what one person has available to advocate for themselves is not necessarily the same thing as somebody else does, and that it is a spectrum. But each one of us does have some semblance of control, some semblance of choice about how we can decide how we're going to take care of ourselves, and that's where it starts. So, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And in the meantime, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jennifer Moore, Modern Medicine Lady, and I will be eternally grateful for your help to get this video out into this world. So please like this, share this, and pass it along to the other people who would find it useful. So until tomorrow, I'm wishing you peace.